Okay, when you access your Cabrini Learn Classroom, you're typically taken directly to the class announcements page. And any new announcements will appear first, and then any older announcements after that will appear after the newer announcements. Now, in order to navigate around on the page, at least in my case, I don't have a left-hand column to do the navigation, the course menu. So what I need to do is I need to come over here on the left and click on the course menu itself to be able to navigate. So I click on that, and now I have my navigation column here, and the first thing I have is course information. And again, if I want to go back to my announcements page, I can simply click on my announcements page and go back there if I need to do that. If I need to get to the syllabus, I can click on the syllabus navigation bar and then click on the Macc 540 syllabus link, and that will bring up the Adobe copy of my Macc 540 syllabus and all the information within the syllabus. Okay, now again going back to my navigation bar, the next item is called Live Class, and this is where we enter the live class, typically again on Monday nights, again typically at 7:15 p.m. So let's see how this works. All I have to do to enter the live class, or rather access the live class, is click on the live class link. At that point, they're going to be taken to a system called Blackboard Ultra, and what you'll see are all the sessions that are scheduled for the entire course, and you'll see live class on January the 27th at 7:15, and that's our January the 22nd at 7:15, and that means that's Monday night at 7:15. Next Monday night then after that would be January the 29th at 7:15, and so forth through the 5th, and then on throughout the remainder of the course. Now what I've done is I've created a test class just as an example to use tonight, so you can see how we actually get into the course. So in order to get into the test class, in this case, I'm going to click on the link test class, join session. Now it's going to take me to my Blackboard Ultra classroom. Okay, you can see it, I'm joining as myself as the user. And of course the room is going to be empty in this case, it's just myself. One of the things that you may want to do right away when you come into the room is click on this, what they say, this collaborate panel here on the bottom right hand side. And what will happen here is you'll be able to say, if you want to, you can say stuff in the classroom. I just type in test, hit enter, and I can add a test. You can do emojis and stuff like that. If you want to see who's within the, and that's when you click on this link here with the little bubble here for the conversations. The next item after that then is the listing of attendees, and you can click on that and you can see who's in attendance and participating. After that then we have what we call share content. That's typically something you would not have to use as a student. I use extensively, but you shouldn't have to use it. The next part after that, you see a little widget under my settings, and this is the next area that you probably want to maybe take a look at. Now you have a number of different options here. You have audio and video settings, and it tells you what you can have your microphone and speaker up to certain levels in terms of volume. You can have notification settings on about when the system should notify you about different things. In this case, I have everything clicked. Now in the case of the audio and video settings, let me close that other box and put out audio and video settings. The thing you're probably going to want to do is set up what they call set up your camera and microphone. Now I would advise you not to set up a camera. I'm not going to use a camera, and I'm not going to have cameras transmitting during the learning session. And the reason for that is that the video takes up so much bandwidth, it can really degrade the performance of the classroom. So I'm not going to have one, and I ask that you not try to transmit one with one either. However, a very, very useful option is a microphone, and you could have a microphone attached to your computer, or in many cases, it's part of your computer. And if you want to, you can set up your microphone, and again, it's a very easy process. You click on the box, and in this case, it says, okay, I've detected a microphone Logitech USB headset, which is my headset. If it doesn't register there, you can always click on it and it'll help you find the microphone. And you can see my voice here. It says you sound great. Now we know that's lying. I sound horrible, but I guess from a sound point of view, I sound okay. So if it doesn't work, I can click on no, I need help. If it works, I go, yes, it's working. Now in this case, it says we couldn't find a camera, and for a good reason. I don't have a camera on this computer, so in this case, I'm just simply going to skip the video test. And that means your microphone is set up and your camera is deactivated. And again, I can adjust my microphone or speaker volume based upon these slider controls. So when I'm done with that, then I can go ahead and close off that control panel, so that's less of a distraction. Now, something else that's very important is the item down here that you can see kind of pulsating. When I click this, that means now my audio is being shared within the classroom. You can hear me, everybody can hear me. When you decide that you want to talk, again, all you have to do is click on that, and that your voice, then your audio, can be shared within the classroom. You have to remember then when you're done, you want to unclick it, because all other sound after that's going to continue on if you don't deactivate it. This item down here is for sharing a video, and again, typically that's not going to be used. The last item over here is raise your hand. A lot of times if I'm going too fast, or if you don't understand something, or you want to ask a question, all you have to do is raise your hand. That'll register on my instructor console, and I'll see who it is. And if several people raise their hand, it also gives me a number who raised their hand first, so I can call on those people first. Sometimes if I'm going too quickly, which I can do, especially with the PowerPoint presentations, it's a good idea to raise your hand and simply tell me, hey, slow down. And I mean, that's fine. That's not a problem. And when you're done raising your hand, what you want to do then again is click on that and lower your hand. What you're going to see then during the presentation across the majority of the screen is a PowerPoint presentation that I'll be making. And again, over on the right hand side, if you elect to put up the chat conversation box, you can also do that. Now over on the upper left hand corner, there's again, for test class, you can do certain things. You can use your phone for audio in case you're having an audio problem. If you click on this, it'll tell you a phone number to call, and the number you can call in, and you can still hear the audio. If you need to report an issue, now this isn't necessarily real time. This is if you just have an issue you need to report, you can click on that. You can also click on Blackboard Collaborate Help, and also tell me about Collaborate. If you want to leave the session, it's fairly simple. You can just simply come down here, click, and leave the session. Now, in some instances, Blackboard gets stuck. Why does it get stuck? I have absolutely no idea. Sometimes it sticks on me, and I'll be talking thinking that things are actually working and running, and my voice is coming across, but nobody's hearing it because I'm stuck. You need to raise your hands and so forth and get my attention to make sure I stop and then correct the problem. Typically, if your Blackboard Collaborate session gets stuck, the easiest thing to do is close a window. In other words, sign out and bring yourself back in again. Now, the other good news is that the sessions are recorded, so if you miss some or part of a session, you can go back to the recorded session. So with that, at this point then, I'm going to go ahead and close our Blackboard Collaborate session, and we'll go back to the classroom for a minute and ask OK. I'm going to say skip. Okay, now I'm going to close that window, and I'm going to go back to my navigation page out of test class. And now I'm going to go down to the exam section, and this is typically where you take your exams. Now at this point you do know that you have a pretest. That pretest is to help baseline your basic knowledge of audit and attestation so we can measure your progress throughout the entire course. The pretest, when you take it, it's worth 50 grading points. When you click on that, you'll get the instructions for the pretest, and then when you actually want to take the pretest, you click on it and you can go through the pretest. The next item after that then will be course content. I don't have anything in that yet because we won't start the course content information until this coming Monday, the 22nd. Also, I'll be posting PowerPoint presentations of the class presentations we do every Monday night. That'll be under this section. Also, one of the things that you're going to be learning is that we're going to be you're going to be reporting on your multiple choice question activity. And here you can see the section for your first two multiple choice question activity reports. Now there will be another video on how to report on these, but those will be, that video will be available later on in the next couple of days. But in order to access that report, it's fairly simple again. The multiple choice question activity report for categories 1A, 1B, and so forth, which is going to be due on February the 4th. You simply click on that link. And again, you get a full information on that particular multiple choice question activity report that you're going to have to fill out. In order to get to the report, you click on the link, and at that point in time then you can open up the link, and there's a copy, or at least a partial copy of the report. You can only see a portion of it. Let me move it over here. Okay, now you can see the entire report. This is how you're going to report your activities for your different multiple choice categories. So let's go ahead and leave that activity and then go on to the next section, which is the TBS. Oops, sorry about that. TBS, and that stands for task-based simulations. Task-based simulation activity reports. Again, you're going to be reporting on the activities of your practice on your task-based simulations, and again, it's simply a matter of clicking on that, and again, you'll get information about the simulations you need to do, and by clicking on the attached files, you can then sorry about that, it's up here. You can then go ahead and get the information, or you get your task-based simulation report then that you could submit. And again, I'll bring the TBS out so you can see the whole thing. And again, there'll be a more detailed report on this, a video on this in the next several days. Okay, after that then, let's take a look at the, I believe to be the last section. Okay, after this section then, whoops, sorry about that. We have an area called My Grades. If you click on that, you can view your grades in your gradebook. Support resources, there's academic support resources, there's technical support resources, and the last item here is a section on useful links to the CPA exam materials, and we'll talk about that at a greater length. It's got quite a bit of information in here. The one thing I will point out to you right away is that probably the most useful information regarding the CPA exam is this very first listing right here, the CPA Candidate Bulletin. And it tells you all about the CPA exam from the beginning to the end, and it is an excellent, excellent, excellent document if you haven't reviewed it or referenced it before. So I'd highly recommend you take a look at that. I also have a link to the National Association of State Accounting Boards if you want to apply for the exam. I have a video on how to apply for the exam. I have another one on how the exam is scored. CPA exam tutorial, some sample tests, a whole number of different things. Matter of fact, I notice I've repeated these, so I'm going to have to eliminate some of the links. But again, please remember this very first one, the CPA Candidate Bulletin, because it's extremely useful. And that basically is the end of the classroom. So thank you so much for your time.